Hello and welcome to RetroSlot episode 73-ish. I don't know. I'm not real sure. 74. How you doing, Jay? How you been?
I'm good. Literally just put up literally just put up a bunch of icicle lights and ran inside. I was like, I gotta go.
Gotta go.
It's supposed to rain here for like, I don't know. I looked at the weather forecast and it just says rain. Like
Really? For like
just like as far as you can see in a weather forecast. Like,
that's not
okay.
unusual though, right? For your area?
No, it's not. It's not. But like, no breaks, no days off of rain is it basically says 50% chance of rain every day for the next however long.
Forever.
It's just like,
Do you guys normally get snow by Christmas, or is that like out of the question?
Like 80% of the time we just get like flurries and it'll stay. You get like an inch or two and it'll stay like a day or two and then it goes away. But we don't have extreme temperatures typically in Portland. It usually doesn't get over hot in the summer. Sometimes it does. It has the last few years. And it doesn't usually get below freezing for too long. It kind of stays between the like 30 to 85 or 90 range.
Mm-hmm.
But every so often we have snowpocalypse here and everything shuts down.
Oh yeah.
I think the last few years, both on the hot end and the cold end, we've had like snow for multiple days, and that's been, that's abnormal for here for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rain is definitely normal, but it doesn't pour here. It's just kind of like piddly.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you where you're at? Does it pour or does it?
We don't get severe weather here too often. When we do, it's been more common though, I'd say in the last 10 years or so. Like never had a tornado here ever when I was a kid.
Man,
in the last like 10 years we've had several. So that's concerning.
Not a fan of those. Yeah. No. I grew up in Alabama, like
yeah.
And I have some tornado stories. I don't think I've ever told you. Like before I hit like 10, we were in multiple Mother Nature, like hurricane, tornado, like in the middle of it, like thinking we were gonna die.
Oh God.
Yeah. So like I've had I think that's probably partially why I'm so anxious all the time. Like just
constantly in fear of dying. That'll do it.
Childhood trauma. Yeah.
They call that PTSD now.
So, yeah, it's I'm glad to be somewhere where there's not a lot of that. We've had a few earthquakes up here, but
for the most part, we usually get snow by Christmas. Whether it's going to actually stick around is kind of hit or miss. I feel like when I was a kid, it was more likely that we'd have kind of like a snow on the ground for Christmas. Nowadays, it feels less and less likely. But when we do get snow, sometimes we get like monster snowstorms. Like 2010, I remember actually was like, for some reason, we got multiple snowstorms that were like 16 to 20 inches. That was a lot of snow.
Yeah.
That was brutal. Hopefully that never happens again.
Not much the last few years, you're saying then?
No.
I think last year we had like overnight, like in one night, it was like a foot.
Oh, yeah.
It just dumped on us.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not like out of the question here. That's not uncommon. It's more common if you go a little bit north. Like if you go to like Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, like you'll get
Midwest,
much
East
more
Coast,
snow. I briefly went to school up in upstate New York, up by Lake Placid, and they would get snow like crazy because they called it lake effect snow, where it was coming off of the Great Lakes, and you just get like these out of nowhere. Like it was cold, and then it was snowing, and there'd be like a foot of snow, and you'd get like snow into like late spring. It was not unheard of to get snowstorms in the summer there, which is insane.
That's weird. Yeah. No thanks.
No thanks. Yeah, pass. Hard pass.
Like, a couple of days of snow, kids off of school, sure, give them a day, let them play in the snow. But after that, it's like, all right, enough. Like,
yeah. I'm a big believer in like, don't leave the house if it's snowing unless you have to, or if you have Christmas shopping to do. And it's a great day to go Christmas shopping because there's nobody at the mall.
Yeah, I definitely try not to leave the house. And I give all the good graces and stuff for UPS drivers and FedEx drivers and all that. Because
I feel like they should get like the day off. Like, I don't understand why the mail's that important that it's got to get delivered during a snow day. I understand rain, like, it rains a lot. Nobody's gonna
Sure.
get hurt. But during a snowstorm, like, come on, give the guys a day off.
Yeah.
If school
Yep.
gets canceled, your mail should get canceled.
Sure.
What, are you in a hurry to get that bill? So, Jay,
Anyways,
you've
big
talked a
news for
lot on
you.
this show
Big
about
news for you.
Butterfingers.
Yeah.
Can
They
you
used to be good?
Yeah, can you give a brief recap on the history of the Butterfinger bar?
All right. So Butterfingers used to be good.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, they used to be great. They used to be great, right?
Top
They
tier candy.
top tier.
Yeah.
Childhood, they had Butterfinger BBs. That was a great ratio of Butterfinger to chocolate. They don't have those anymore.
They don't even sell
No, they haven't for a long time.
Really?
And yeah, I don't know. Somebody's probably got some in their freezer from 1992, but I definitely don't.
Yum.
And I don't know. I think it was 2018. A company named Ferraro bought. I have children yelling in the background. Apologies. Ferraro bought. I think they bought Nestle like completely.
Oh wow.
I think, or they just bought like a bunch of stuff. I don't know if they completely bought, but they changed the recipe. The moral of the story is they changed the recipe of Butterfinger.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, like better chocolate. No, it was like, all right, no more molasses in the Butterfinger at all. It's more peanut buttery now. It's a little bit flakier. It's not quite as hard. It doesn't get stuck in your teeth quite as much.
Oh, well, that's an improvement.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, it used to be like toffee. It used to be like toffee. It was like a darker kind of auburn color. It was like a toffee kind of thing with the chocolate on the outside. And it was, S tier before. Now it's like A minus. Like it's still good. I would like both of them at the same time. Like you have a new recipe version and an old recipe.
Okay.
Because like I like both of them, but it's hard to like the new one when I know that I can't have the old one anymore.
Never have the old one again.
Yeah.
I've never had a new one. And you've talked about it many times on this show.
Yeah.
And I had to go get milk today at 7-Eleven. I'm standing in line, and what do I see is a Butterfinger.
Smack you in the face. Oh, I haven't tried it yet.
I haven't tried it yet.
Okay. We're going to go through it.
I thought it'd be fun to give the new Butterfinger a shot. I probably haven't had one of these since, I don't know, the 90s, honestly. So I'm going to give just one bite. I'm not going to eat the whole bar, but... Oh, it's hard.
Yeah.
Can you hear that?
A little bit. It's crunching.
Mm.
Give me a play-by-play. What do you taste?
It's still delicious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%.
I got to say, though, if you didn't tell me there was a difference from the 90s, I would not have picked this out on my own. Like, I would not have been like, wait a minute. What happened to my Butterfinger bar?
Yeah.
And it's definitely still stuck in my teeth.
Yeah. I mean, like for a few years, it became, before they changed the recipe, it was like only 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
It became my absolute favorite candy bar. And then they changed it. So like, yeah, I literally was having them like side by side. I like, as soon as I heard that they got bought out and they changed the recipe, I went and bought like I bought like 10 pounds on eBay or something like that of the little guys, because they weren't that expensive at that point because they had just changed. So I like put them in the freezer.
Like the prices skyrocket on the classic Butterfinger?
Yeah, I mean, people had like, whatever, big bags of them, like the little fun size ones is probably my favorite. The problem with the big bars is the ratio is just off. It's just, it's like 99.9%.
There's like too
peanut
much
butter.
Crispity, crunchity, peanut buttery.
You
really need more chocolate to cover it.
A little bit. So the fun size ones are a little bit better because you have the like, it's like a little package. You have chocolate on all sides. It's kind of like the Reese's are the same for me. Like a Reese's cup, the fun size ones are better ratio.
I disagree on that one, but
it's more like 60-40 inside to chocolate versus like a normal Reese's that's like 99% inside and 1% chocolate.
I guess I kind of remember this being like less hard. Like I was a little surprised, like biting into it, how hard it was.
They've always been hard.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's been since like the 90s since I had one. I used to like them. I still
Butterfinger
this is still good.
Butterfinger BBs were probably a little less because they were smaller. Wasn't as much like, surface area to crunch.
Well, it was interesting because you talked this up and you had me curious, and now I understand. Still good though.
Yeah, it's still good. Still good.
Honestly, I'm glad to not be giving my money to Nestle. Those bastards.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember the exact story, but yeah, Ferraro bought out. And there's
probably gonna be like a Nestle logo on here, right? No,
but the fact that they
took it Ferraro.
Yeah. It's a brighter yellow. It's very much a Super Mario Brothers 3 yellow, as opposed to kind of like an orangish, a yellowish orange that it used to be on the wrapper. Yeah. Like compare that yellow to this box.
Oh yeah.
It's almost identical.
Yeah, it's very similar.
Very bright.
All right.
Anyways,
the Butterfinger Chronicle continues.
Butterfinger?
Butterburger.
It's still stuck in his teeth. He can't get it out.
Yeah.
So, speaking of holiday decorations, do you like them / like putting them up? Like, what is your aptitude for decorations?
I like them. I don't like putting them up. Putting them up is a bit of a chore. But I do like the juice is worth the squeeze on this one, right? Is I do like having them up. Like,
sure,
it's just adds to the festive environment of the holidays, which I do enjoy. Like the holidays, it definitely can be, it does feel like everybody's got their hand out. Everybody's trying to get you to spend more and more and more money. Like the theme of the holidays can be overwhelmed by consumerism.
Sure.
But the joyousness of it, the holiday music, like the spending time with family, like the giving of presents, like all of that stuff, I really do enjoy it. Like I really get a kick out of it. So yeah, I really do like holiday decorations. I like doing them outside. I like doing like a tree inside. We don't go crazy, but we do a little bit of stuff inside. Like hanging stuff up and the tree. Last year we got a fake tree for the first time. That was our first year with a fake tree, and it is definitely a lot easier.
We haven't gotten there yet. We still have the little kids that are enamored with the whole.
Yeah.
So
I held off as long as I could, but the trees
we generally
more expensive too.
Yeah, it's true. We generally chop our own down too.
That's fun.
Excuse me. I normally chop our own down.
Do you bring the family with you?
There's no we in that chopping usually.
No, you don't get the kid. Here's an axe, kid.
No, yeah. No, so there's like a have fun.
Yeah.
Watch your fingers. Oh, it's falling. Yeah. Oh, it's fell. All right.
Yep. You almost caught it. Well, you kind of did.
No, we have it's funny because the Christmas tree farm is actually more expensive to buy a tree there than it is just off like a parking lot, which is bizarre to me. Sure, you're doing more work and you're paying more. This is the not 1-to-1 here.
I feel like the experience is more fun. Like going out there, trudging through the snow with the family. Well, you don't have any snow, but like going out there with the family, cutting
in the mud,
dragging it back to where they like wrap it up for you.
Sure.
I don't know. It's
fun.
Fun.
Get some hot cocoa. Yeah. So the place that we have, they do trees and pumpkins. So usually we go there like twice a year.
Nice.
In the fall and the winter. And so when is the appropriate time to put decorations up for you, like Christmas decorations, for example?
So because I'm not allowed in the kitchen during Thanksgiving, I'll actually I'll put up the tree on Thanksgiving Day.
Actually. Oh, wow.
Because I'm kind of not doing much really up until like dinner served, if that makes sense.
With a fake tree, that makes sense. With a real tree, I feel like it wouldn't last through Christmas.
Yeah, no. With a real tree, definitely not. But with a fake tree, I'm like, I don't see any reason to like postpone the inevitable, and it adds to the kind of festivity of the holidays, but I actually didn't do it this year on Thanksgiving. I haven't done it yet. But I might actually do it just tomorrow. Like, there's no reason I haven't done it. I was doing I've still been raking leaves, and I went full goblin mode after Thanksgiving. I went full on like troll. I took a shower on Thursday on Thanksgiving Day. I didn't touch water again for like 3 days.
That's pretty normal for us here.
It was just turkey and couches, man.
Uh,
I like woke from my stupor on Sunday.
I'm literally doing this to my brow, and I can feel the dirt
From
like
being
on my
outside.
face right now. Well, yeah, oh yeah, like messing with the gutters and like the
Yeah.
stuff. Like
Yeah.
I just realized that's what it is. It's not sweat,
Yeah.
like gutter gunk.
Yeah, you were putting up icicle lights. I'm not about the ladder life, man. I
No,
ain't
I'm
about
not
it.
either. But I really have to do a better job of not being a grumpy old man too when I'm putting them up because my
Well,
wife
what's the
just
fun of
feels
getting old if you can't be a grumpy old man?
she feels bad. She's like, "Well, I don't even, like I feel like I can't enjoy it because you're like not liking this." And I'm like, "Okay, I really need to rein it in a little bit." It's like it's a good reality check, honestly. Like I don't want to be Grinch, but
No.
yeah, it's a little
But
terrifying on the
also, she's
ladder
got
for
to
me.
allow you to be a grumpy old man. Like, what's the fun of getting old if you can't be like an old bastard about everything?
Uh, my wife's a social worker. Everything's yeah.
Oh, I
Okay.
see.
Yeah.
My mother
So
was a
when do you
social worker.
typically take the decorations down?
When I good and damn ready, and don't you tell me they've been up too long.
All right, so here's the deal.
Yeah.
Before COVID, I was like, New Year's, you got about a week. Take them down. Like it's
Like
time.
after New Year's Day, you got to take down
Yeah,
the tree.
yeah. You got like a week or
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay. All right.
Nothing crazy. But after COVID, fuck it. Like let people enjoy life.
Yeah.
Like
It's so
during
pretty.
COVID, I was like, you want to put up your Christmas tree on September 1st? Have fun. Like
Yeah.
there's too
You be
much lack
happy.
of
You do
joy right
you.
now and all that
Yeah.
stuff, right? And last year, this is not due to any other reason other than laziness. We left our icicle lights up for like 9 months.
Yeah. I mean, once you make it to 9 months, what are you taking them down for in September? Like, you're 3 months
They
away.
burnt out.
Oh.
They all burnt out.
Bummer, you almost made it.
So here's the deal. We only had 2 strands
Yeah.
and they looked super sad.
Oh.
And we left them up for 9 months.
Yeah.
It was just
Well,
like right over the doorway,
did you like turn them on in the
It was connected to the light switch for the
Oh, okay.
porch light.
I see the dilemma there.
It was just
I
me
don't
being lazy and not wanting to
what the heck,
take them
man?
down. Plus, we
I
got little kids, so my excuse was the kids like them, like
I like them
just
too. Like I don't understand why everybody's got to be like a Nazi about freaking taking your Christmas lights down on like a specific day. Like it looks nice.
ours didn't look nice. They were like half they were like half burnt out and stuff. But yeah, getting them up now, I think even like a few days before December, it was pretty good. Normally, I used to be like, all right, Thanksgiving's first. There's like a whole SNL skit about it.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving's first.
Sure.
But now, it's like whatever. Just enjoy yourself. I'm not the one to judge you for your joy.
Yeah.
Who are we to
I like
yuck
having them.
somebody else's yum, as Goth would say, right?
Yeah, I like putting the like we have like the fake candles, like the LED candles. We put those in the windows. I really like that one because,
Yeah.
and I feel like that can last all winter. Like that's just nice, you know. Also, the more lights you have around, the feel more secure your house feels.
We we have like floodlights. They're not currently in, but they are bright
Yeah,
and they're motion sensor.
yeah, we got those
And
too.
we're like right on the corner. And anytime like a car drives by or like a dog goes by, it's like
Yeah,
just like super bright.
yeah. We're on the corner too, actually, but they don't go off when cars go by. But if you enter our driveway at all or our front lawn at all, they will light up, which I like.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
get off my lawn. I'm old. Get off my lawn.
We have a doorbell camera, so that's my like.
Yeah, I haven't gotten one of those installed yet. Watts was telling me about her security system. It sounded pretty intense and no subscription, which I like.
Mhm.
So I was
So
thinking about,
they have like a server in their house or something like recording that stuff.
I don't know. I'm not real sure. She told me, and I didn't do anything about it.
Well, they have like, he's her husband's got some nice cars and stuff too. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some stuff stolen off our front porch, like a bunch of game packages actually, like
Oh,
retro
really?
game stuff long time ago. So I was like, fuck it, we're getting a doorbell camera. I can't
Not that, like, what are you gonna do with that footage, you know?
And it was a kid. I'm pretty sure it was a kid too, because there was like a
Oh,
bike
like a
lock
neighborhood
left on the
kid?
front porch. Probably.
Okay, well, then you can at least go to the house and be like, "Look what your fucking kid did.
Yeah.
Give me my shit back."
I watched
Jack.
somebody pour all of our Halloween candy that was in a bowl one year into a bag and walk away.
Dude, you're too lazy to give out the candy yourself. You are inviting that.
No, not lazy. So here's the thing. We have little kids. We wanted to go out trick-or-treating with the little
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
This year we split up. Like I didn't get to have that joy of walking around with my kids. So it
Yeah,
kinda
but
sucked.
you got to give it to other people.
Sure.
Or did you just put the bucket out?
No. Well,
Okay.
I went all out. Like I had little individual packages. I put one of those like Pokemon trick or treat packs in it and like 4 pieces of candy in each
Oh,
bag.
wow. Like
Wrapped them
little
all up. Yeah, and
individual
each kid got
baggies.
like a little individual thing.
You were the good
We ran
house.
out. We ran out of those in like 20 minutes. There were 60 of them.
Wow.
And then I had another like whatever 70 packs and a whole bunch of candy and those ran out in like a half an hour. Like we
Dang, you
had like
guys got
100
hit.
plus. Yeah,
You
we
were
had
the
like
good
100
house,
plus
man.
kids. Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Oh, we gotta go over to
Pokemon cards. Yeah.
Jake's house."
It really
Oh,
felt
yeah.
like the first year where we had a lot of trick-or-treaters since before COVID because COVID years, and then last year it was like dumping rain.
Oh,
So
really?
we didn't have a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
But this year it was like clear out and yeah, ton of kids.
So we got some news this week, Jay. Oddly, 2 weeks in a row. A little less news than normal, but we don't
Some
have
good
3
stories.
weeks worth of news. We got 1 week worth of news.
Yeah.
But some
But
good
I mean,
news in here, honestly.
there's some good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited about like all the stuff that I put on here.
Yeah.
I didn't see the stuff that you had put on there yet. So, Earthbound, which we haven't covered yet. One day we probably will. I did not
Yeah.
choose it as this episode's thing. Maybe 1 week.
Yeah, one time when we know we're gonna like skip a week because it's like Christmas or something.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one. Like when we got
Maybe
like a
the
good
next
3 or
episode
4
or
weeks.
something we'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
But Earthbound USA has finally been released. It's a documentary that's been in development for over 10 years.
Wow.
You can rent it now. The website is it's at Fangamer. So if you just Google like Earthbound USA, you'll probably find
Okay.
it. It's $7 for a digital rental or $19 for the Blu-ray.
Okay.
And the Blu-ray does have some like, deleted scenes and some other things. My question was like, I would buy the Blu-ray if it included the digital version as well. You know what I'm saying? Because I would want it to like collect, but I would want to watch the digital version. And I don't want to rent it. I would just
Wait,
want to own the digital
why would you
version.
prefer to watch the digital version over the Blu-ray?
Because we don't even have a Blu-ray player hooked up right now.
Doesn't your PS5 have a Blu-ray player in it? Does the
That's in
PS5
the
have a
office.
Blu-ray?
I have a Blu-ray player hooked up to the like Xbox too, but that's in the office.
Does the Xbox player have a Blu-ray? I don't
Probably.
actually
I'm
know.
sure it does. I'm sure it does.
Yeah,
But like
it would be
the only
nice
thing
if
is,
they give you like a digital code for it as well.
and it's not even a digital rent. I mean, it's not even a digital purchase. It's a digital rental.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, what if I want to buy it digitally for 15 or 20 bucks?
Well, you can always burn it off the Blu-ray. Do you have a Blu-ray
Have it.
disc player on your computer?
Not on my PCs anymore. No, I don't.
No?
I used to.
Yeah, that's weird. Huh. That's a good point. I understand your point.
I like to own, like, it's funny because with video games, I want to own everything physically. With movies, I want it all digitally because I want to have like my, it's just more convenient for me because our family will watch movies over and over and over again.
Yeah, same.
At least kid stuff. So
a couple of years ago, I set up a Plex server, and my whole DVD collection from like way back, I do laboriously. I mean, it takes a long time. You gotta put in each DVD into your PC, run it through Handbrake, and make yourself a digital copy of each movie, and it takes a while. And then once I got to the HD stuff and the Blu-ray stuff, it takes even longer.
Yeah.
So I do have like a Plex server with all that stuff on it. And honestly, it's not great looking at those old DVDs on modern TVs. It's one of the fun things. Like one of my future projects with the TV in my office, like the analog CRT, is I'd like to get a VHS and a DVD player hooked up to it. I guess I could just use a PS2, right?
For DVDs, probably.
Yeah. I can't hook my PS3 up to it through like my chain. I can just like hook it up with like an analog, I guess. But yeah, I'd like to be able to do that. That'd be fun. Yeah, I get
mean,
your point. I'll probably order the Blu-ray copy because my
yeah.
PS5 is downstairs. I'm pretty sure that could run Blu-rays,
I mean,
right?
I could.
It
We
can,
have
right?
a Blu-ray player. I just gotta plug it in to the. But it's inconvenient to like. I don't know.
Let's see if
I
chat
just like
knows.
I like having stuff digitally now. I don't know. It's weird. I'm weird. Video games. If I'm gonna play a game regularly, like Destiny or something, yeah, I want it digitally. I'll
Yeah.
also buy it. But if it's something that I'll play once in a while or something like that, I want a physical copy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Actually,
don't know.
in the news lately, who's the guy who directed the Batman movies and that new Oppenheimer movie?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Can't remember his name.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan. He's
Oh
been
yeah, yeah,
talking
yeah.
about like digital media and physical media quite a bit, with a couple of other directors, I think, too, saying, "Hey, these things go up onto these streaming services. They go up and down, and like you never know if you can actually watch a movie anymore, right? Like there's movies
Right.
that you're like, well, I can't rent it anymore. It's not like you can go to Blockbuster. Sometimes you want to. You look at Amazon and you see that yes, there was a Blu-ray of this movie made in like 2014, but it's sold out and it hasn't been printed again since
Mhm.
then. It's kind of a weird. We're in a weird situation with movies right now.
Yeah. The original Super Mario Brothers movie is one of those weird ones too, where you can't stream it anywhere. You have to
Yeah,
have a physical version of it.
and nobody misses it.
Um,
It's amazing. Everyone's like, "Well, don't
there
care."
are some movies that they'll be on streaming services and the kids will watch it, and then like 6 months later, they're like, I want to watch Minions, and
Yeah,
it's nowhere. And so
nowhere.
you have to
Right.
buy it. So we do have like probably a dozen or so digital movies that we own like on Amazon, but you can just go to My Stuff and just
Hmm.
it's right there. So or Vudu or something like that.
And
So you
sometimes,
have
like,
your
you go to rent a movie, and it's like, well, it costs $1 extra to buy it,
exactly,
so I'll just buy
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel the
Good point.
same owning a digital copy of something that. But it also doesn't take any place up on your shelves.
Yeah.
You're not building
Movies, yeah,
shelves.
movies I don't have as much of a want to collect. I know there are some
Yeah.
folks out there that do that, and
Oh, for
props
sure.
to
I
you.
used to collect DVDs, but then like, what happened with that was that like then I was buying the same movie on Blu-ray, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna buy the same movie again on 4K Blu-ray. I'm like,
Yep,
what the
yep,
heck, man? I'm like,
yep, that too. Video games, it's
VHS.
like there's one version actually, I mean, there's as I say it, as I fucking bought Super Mario RPG remake, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm a
Totally.
sucker, but not
I'm a
for movies,
sucker
I guess.
too. How many copies of Castlevania do I own?
Yeah, right.
Or Contra?
Yeah, so at the very least, I'll watch it for $7. I don't know. It's weird that it's not released on any like major services. It's just through it's through Fangamer, so I don't know
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
what
You'd
the
think this would be
delivery system
perfect
is,
for
but
like Amazon. Amazon always has weird
yep,
documentaries on it.
they do. There's some good ones though on Amazon for like retro game stuff. What? The
Wilson
Power
says
of Glove?
Wilson says he's got the SanDisk collection for movies.
Yeah, everything's burned.
The digital library.
The digital library physically. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. It's funny. I have still some disc binders from like 2004 that have like you know 360 disc slots,
Oh yeah.
and they're mostly filled with burned like Blu-ray DivX. I
Yeah.
used to have a DivX DVD player, so I would
Oh yeah.
burn the yeah.
Yeah.
So I have like the disc, and it's all like handwritten Sharpie on the yeah.
I
A
was
bunch of
actually
those.
just going through some stuff not that long ago when I found my big 300 pack of CDs that I used to keep in my fucking car. Because who knows when you need that 288th CD?
Those things scratch the hell out of your
Oh, they
discs
did.
too.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you kept them in your car on the floor and they were getting all stepped on by
Yeah.
your friends and shit.
Anytime I ever buy like a game collection and it's in one of those like binder things, I'm like, those things are gonna be scratched as fuck. Like
Yeah.
they're always PS2 and PS1 games too.
Yeah.
Always are in those things.
Speaking of buying games, I'm sorry to like go off topic on the news a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit, but the that Turbo Duo, the Analog Duo is coming out like this month, right?
Supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah. Have you been like kind of like checking out any games to play on it? Are you
I
keeping an eye
have
open for them?
I think I have like a dozen or so TurboGrafx physical games now.
Yeah.
Mostly bought from like one person. trying to let's see. I have 11 games for TurboGrafx.
Yeah.
I have that one that you were talking about. Like your favorite game, is it Kadash or is it Dragon's Curse? Which one is it? Or is it? It was Legendary Axe was the one that
Legendary
you liked.
Axe. Yeah, that's a really good
So I
game.
own that.
I don't have
I
like very deep knowledge about those games though. TurboGrafx, it was just kind of like outside of my purview at the time of its like when it was relevant. Like I saw like the big stuff come out, but like I can watch like videos on YouTube, like hidden gem videos, and I have like no knowledge of the games they're talking about, right?
Yeah.
But like a
I think
Genesis,
the other
like,
one
I
was
watched the same thing
doubled.
about a Genesis. I know all those games.
Yeah, yeah.
For Super
Yeah.
Nintendo. What?
Right, yeah.
List off the games you got. I'm curious to know.
From like most valuable to least valuable, Kadash would be at the top.
Okay.
Darkwing Duck, I bought.
Oh, nice.
It's just the hue card though. I don't have the
yeah
case in the manual though, unfortunately for that. Dragon's Curse, Parasol Stars, Bubble Bobble 3. There's a Bomberman for TurboGrafx that I have,
think that's
and it's got
well-regarded Bomberman too. I think it's supposed to be a good one.
The cover art for this thing is phenomenal. You need to look it up.
Okay.
You need to. I have it in a bin. Bloody Wolf, Fantasy Zone, Galaga 90.
I heard that's pretty good too.
Yeah, Legendary Axe, Hyperdyne Sidearms, and Double Dungeons.
Oh, okay. I have 4 games, and oddly enough, 3 of the games we both have is Sidearms, Legendary Axe, Kadash. Oh wait, I have 5 games because I also have Keith Courage and Alpha Zone, which I think was the pack-in game when I actually bought the TurboGrafx.
Yeah, it's super cheap.
And I forgot the driving game that I can't remember off the top of my head what the name of it is.
You're looking for stuff for us to cover eventually?
What's that?
You looking for stuff for us to like talk about eventually?
I don't know. I've just been thinking. I actually, so this summer, Wilson was kind enough to recap my TurboGrafx. My TurboGrafx I bought when it was new, but it was like discounted to $50 because it wasn't selling very well. So I was like,
right,
I'll pick one of these up and check this thing out. And then all those games that I have, except for Legendary Axe, I bought at the time. And then Legendary Axe I just ordered recently. And I actually just bought it's an adapter of some sort to get really pristine video out of the TurboGrafx. I bought that from Crix. It's actually being shipped from, I would suppose, the Ukraine right now. And then I bought a new cable to hook that into my kind of audio video system. So nice. I haven't ordered the Duo because I have a TurboGrafx and I don't have an extensive library of games for the PC Engine / TurboGrafx, and I don't plan on buying an expensive because the games on that
some
system
of them are
freaking real expensive. So I'm not like, I have plenty of ways to play ROMs, so I'm not in need.
Kind of like Saturn, a lot of good games, but they're
a lot like Saturn actually.
The library is pretty small though. I don't know exactly how many games there are, but
well, it's small for the TurboGrafx. It's huge for the PC Engine.
Sure,
which it's gigantic, and that's actually like
even the US, or is that like overseas?
So it's called the PC Engine overseas. I think it was only called the TurboGrafx in the US and the UK. I might be
like how many PC Engine US games are there?
No, there's TurboGrafx in the US. PC Engine was just overseas.
But aren't there some disc games in the US?
Yeah, the TurboGrafx CD.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I have one of those games.
Yeah, they're pricey. I mean, that system gets pricey quick. Okay, I'm sorry. Back to the news.
All good.
I wonder if I will buy that too. I don't know. We'll see.
Another book is getting released. It just got funded fully. Ooh. It's called Console Chronicles. You can still order it, and it's got its own like website to go to, and the website is lostandcult.co.uk. It is £50, which I think pounds and dollars are fairly close now. But the art style of this stuff, like the not animators, the artists or whatever that are doing the art for this book, it's like a really cool, I mean, it's a retro style, but the I don't know exactly how they're formatting the book or who's involved or whatever, but it looked pretty big. It looked like it's gonna be like a few hundred pages kind of book. So I don't know. It says 400 plus pages.
Cool.
It's kind of telling the story about like how the consoles came to be. I think it revisits a lot of stuff we already know, like console wars and all that kind of stuff. Um, there's also a handheld history book that you can get, which is if you get both of them together, it's like $80, 80
Yeah.
pounds. So I don't
I'm
look
trying
kind
to
of
find
interesting.
like some samples of like what's inside because the
Also
art.
sponsored. I was just gonna say it's also sponsored by the Embracer Group, which I thought was
Interesting.
yeah.
Well, buy it before they get laid off.
Ooh.
This is kind of cool. I do enjoy a good video game book. Kind of neat. I like it.
Yep.
I really
All
like
right.
the art style that they're using
Yeah.
on this webpage, and it looks like it carries over to at least the cover of the book. But I'm not seeing a lot of samples of what's in the book.
Mm-mm. Oh, oh, there is a video.
Yeah, I skipped through it, but it was mostly people talking,
Yeah, it's true.
which
Good
I
point.
can't listen to right now.
It would go through the stream or the recording.
Yeah.
We've been talking about the like I don't know what they're called, the little boxes,
Oh yeah, FPGA.
Mars Retro Tank and Mister and stuff. Mars FPGA
Yeah,
is bringing on the Retro Tank creator Mike Chi.
this is pretty big news.
Yeah,
This
I thought that was
is
pretty.
the RetroTank 4K we talked about last week is about to come out. Like I don't know, a couple weeks from now.
He's gonna be helping them with video and stuff. It sounds
This
like.
is this raises the status of the Mars FPGA kind of in a big way in my like personal standing of like, is this thing gonna be cool or is it gonna be not cool? Because I think I might have mentioned this before. Is like the Mars FPGA does a lot of what the Mister does, but it's
Mhm.
more powerful. So that the opportunity is that they could have things like the Dreamcast on there, or
Scalable. Yeah.
yeah, or more complex arcade stuff on there. I use the Mister a lot for arcade stuff because there's not really any other like kind of arcade perfect way to play that stuff.
Mhm.
And getting Mike Chi on here just adds a lot of credibility to it. And Mike Chi he's a master with this stuff. So this is really interesting news to me. I didn't know this until I read this in here.
I am also curious, like, who is backing the Mars FPGA? Like, who's
Oh, they're all very public on Twitter. They're all, it's a group of creators who are like, building this thing and they're going to sell it. And it's going to be more like a console as opposed to like this kind of more DIY kind of thing of what the Mister is. Like you're going to buy this thing and it's going to show up at your doorstep ready to play like a console,
right?
which is cool.
And I just caught this at the bottom of the article on time extension too. It says Wizzo Mafizzo, developer of Mr. Extensions, Flixel, developer of 3DO and Dreamcast emulators, and Todd's Nerd Cave, industrial designer behind cases of products like the OSCC or OSSC, Mr. and RetroTink 5K, 5X have all been confirmed as working on this project.
Cool.
So it's not like it doesn't feel like it's a competition. It almost feels like the next generation is being, you know, cumulatively worked on with people in the industry as opposed to a
Yeah.
competitor to like the Mister.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like people, people spend a lot of money on their Misters, so they're going to be defensive about it. You know how console wars can
Sure.
be too. It's like, but this is going to do a lot of what the Mister does and some more.
Mhm.
But for anybody who's got a Mister, it's got to do some pretty compelling more. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, to justify the cost.
to justify another $750 outlay over however much you spent on a Mister, which could be anywhere from what $300 to $600.
Mhm.
And for me, I have a Dreamcast that has a hard drive in it that has every Dreamcast game ever released on it. I have a Saturn, same deal. And like, what to me is, I'm looking forward to the Mars to see what they could do, and they haven't showed off a lot of it yet. But
Did
I'm
you
definitely interested.
notice did you know that it had a modular thing for inputs? I don't know if we talked about that.
I didn't know that. So,
There's a
like,
link if you look at related articles on time extension, it literally says, "Mr. Rival Mars FPGA will let you use your old controllers and peripherals."
oh,
And I clicked
okay,
on the
cool.
link, and it's got a picture of, like, these little modular things that go on the front. It's got N64, Genesis,
Oh, kind of like what the
NES, and SNES on it.
what that thing did. What was that thing called that we talked about so many
Polymega.
times? Polymega did.
We're gonna cover that a little bit in a minute too.
Nice.
So
Good old Polymega giving us the
but
news.
it not only will allow people to use, like, USB controllers and stuff, but they'll have different modules that you can just, like, attach to the front. It says it'll support NES, SNES, Genesis, Neo Geo, NEC, which is PC Engine, TurboGrafx 16, and N64 with these front ports, with even more expected to be announced in the future.
Yeah,
Like, it's interesting. That was announced in October. I don't know how we missed it.
I think I did know about this. Like, I'm reminded of it now. I just kind of forgot about it.
Mm,
But you can do that with the Mister too, with the snack adapters. Like, you can plug in.
okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm definitely keeping my eye on this thing. But since I already
Sure.
have a Mister, it takes a little more to sell me on it. Like, they gotta show me something I can't do on the Mister that I really want to do.
Sure. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Or maybe I didn't talk about the Polymega news was they are trying to they had promised to ship all the consoles by the end of the year, and they're like, "Actually, it's gonna take an extra couple of months." And then they're like, "Yeah, all that other stuff that we announced, like the light gun, which is one of the most compelling things that they announced, there's no news on that yet, and they have something else in the works that's gonna be announced soon," is what they said. So, I don't know.
Like their
Seems like it's
software
really
program, like the Polymega software.
yeah, no, they announced that already. There's something else that they haven't announced apparently
Mm.
that they're teasing now.
FPGA?
Yeah. It's surprise! Uh, the thing we promised 5 years ago, 4 years ago at this point? Anyways, so I didn't even put it in here because it wasn't really, like, super interesting or, um, like, final or anything. It was just kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
But similar to that, in television Amico, which we haven't covered too much here, but I've been listening to, like, the CU podcast and stuff when they were talking a lot about it, and, Tommy Tallarico and all that drama going on.
Yeah.
They admit, like, full on say that they need more funding to even ship the consoles to
Yeah.
people that have already, like, paid for them and ordered them and all that stuff. Headache? Much?
Mm.
Um, and the second part to this news is, surprise, they developed an app for your phone that basically turns your phone into an Amico controller,
So,
and
are
you
they
can
not
use
going to
that
have
now.
controllers for the console anymore? It's just gonna be your
No, they
phone
still will.
in
It'll be like
addition?
an
Okay.
additional controller, yeah.
Okay.
And
I
so
don't
what they're
think this is very surprising, right?
I don't know, they're trying to now create from a business perspective, it's smart, right? They're trying to save money on, hardware by creating a free piece of software you can download with your phone to sell you games and software that will be, like, cross compatible with your phone and the Amico.
Okay.
But, like, why would you buy the Amico in the first place if you could play all the games on your phone?
Well, to play them on your TV, I suppose, but you could probably do that with your Apple TV, right? Like if you have a
Maybe.
Apple
Yeah.
device or even your Google TV or whatever. Like, I mean, that solution already exists. Like, what's with doing that stuff? I don't know. I don't
It
feel like
says,
there's much hope for the Amico at this point.
uh, there's a free Amico home app currently available on Android. And then it says once installed, you can connect your phone to a TV, should it offer that functionality, and get the full Amico experience without having to wait for the console to arrive. Which, according to Intellivision CEO Phil Adam, could be some time.
Yeah, considering they don't have enough money to make it.
They don't have enough money to. Woo! It has Ouya all over it. Listen, I was an Ouya backer. I was
I have an
convinced.
Ouya though. They shipped Ouya.
Yeah, they did. I had one, and it was a fantastic idea, except for the fact that when I tried to play it, the input lag was so bad
Really?
that, like, it was unplayable. Like, I
Oh,
had a yeah, I had a, like, whatever, first edition,
I did
and
too. Yep.
I tried to play Super Mario World, and it was like, hit the button, jump. I was like, "Nope, I'm fucking done." I was so upset. I think they fixed a lot of that stuff over time, but out of the box, it was awful.
Yeah. There was that one
Anyways.
game, I can't remember what it was called, that was really fun on it. I don't know. That game got ported to many other things
Yeah.
when the
It was a
Amiga
really
died.
cool idea.
It was a cool idea.
And it wasn't super expensive, if I remember correctly.
It was like $100, right?
Yeah, it's like $89, $100, something like that. Yeah, so that's Amico. Strictly Limited is having a holiday sale. $20 off all in stock, ready to ship games from whatever, Black Friday, November 24th through December 12th. So you have like 2 weeks from today if you're interested in getting anything strictly limited. I mean, 20%'s not bad. I don't know how much they charge for shipping, but at the very least, it's free shipping and a little bit extra.
Yeah. They
So,
got some good stuff here too, in
yeah,
stock. Like they got the Irem collection, which is kind of neat. They got
a
Air
lot of stuff.
Twister, which is a brand new game by the guys who made Panzer Dragoon.
Mhm.
What else they got? Cotton. They got a couple of Cotton games. There's some good stuff here, and
Yeah,
like a
there's like
lot of the stuff is
SNES,
in stock.
NES.
You buy it and it ships. It's not like limited run. You wait a year for it.
Right. A lot of it is like close to selling out though. It says like 5% stock yet left and all that stuff. So
That's
just,
probably the point.
yeah,
Get rid of
if
this
you want to
stuff.
get
I
in
think
on
they're
that stuff.
moving. They said right, like they're moving to
Well,
a different
they're getting a new
warehouse.
warehouse, so
Yeah.
they're wanting to like start. I think they don't want to move a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Wild Gun's the good one. That
Ooh,
one's low stock.
Eschatos.
Super Turrican 2 for SNES. Those are good ones. Anyways,
Steel
I thought
Empire.
that was interesting and figured because I'm a deal shopper, man. Like
Yeah.
I used to live on slickdeals.net for years, and I love me a good deal.
They got some Genesis games like Steel Empire. They got an NES game called Over Horizon. Oh, these are pre-orders though, so they don't count.
I think you have to go to
Interesting.
the store. Yeah.
Still though, cool stuff. Very neat. So speaking of a Genesis cartridge, Eliminate Down, the collector's cartridge, is up for pre-order from Limited Run Games. I think this is actually, geez, what's the company that actually makes these? I always forget the name of this company. Oh, Retrobit. So they've made some like repros in the past, like these kind of collector's editions,
Mhm.
and they're well regarded. They did like the Mega Man Genesis. What was it called? Mega Man. I can't remember. They've done
I
a
know what
bunch of
you're talking
these,
about. It was a
and
cool
they're pretty
box.
well regarded. They've got this one's got a green Genesis cartridge. Eliminate Down is a very cool shooter, very well regarded. It's definitely regarded as kind of like a hidden gem because it wasn't very popular at the time. But looking back on it, it's a very good looking game. Like
Is
the
that a
graphics are
US?
just intense.
Oh, that's a Japanese Sega Mega Drive game, right?
Yeah.
Like, was there a US release of this? No, I
Oh,
don't
I
think
don't
so.
know. Yeah, I never heard of it at the time.
Holy expensive Batman.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
So
a
perfect.
$1,500 $2,000 game.
Yeah, I think it was super rare, right? Because like nobody ever heard of it. But I mean, it's a really good game, and this is a really cool opportunity to get yourself a physical copy of it for your Genesis for $54.99. Plus, it's a green cartridge, which I always like when they do colored cartridges.
Mhm, mhm.
I think
It's like
this is cool. I'm gonna
sparkly
order
too.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna order this one. I like this.
Do you open these games and play them, or do you just like play them on your Mister at that point?
No, I
It's
like to
just
open them and play them. I like to, I've made the analogy before of putting the record onto the record player being part of the enjoyment of listening to music off of a record, right? Is like the dusting of the record. I like, when I boot up a game on the NES, is like part of the fun is like put it in there. Oh, it doesn't work. Pulling it out. Putting it in. Doesn't work. Pulling it out.
Mhm.
Getting out the alcohol. Cleaning it up a little bit. Like the whole process is part of the process that I enjoy. If I just need to play a game real quick, I'll boot it up on Mister. But I do enjoy playing on original hardware.
Sure. Cool.
So yeah, I'll probably pick this up.
It does look cool.
What else we got? Oh, this is really neat. So a bunch of modders got together, and have you ever heard of the Sega Neptune, Jay?
I haven't.
The Sega Neptune was an unreleased console. Basically, what it was supposed to be was a combination into one console of the Sega Genesis and the 32X. So it'd be like one box. You don't have to have like that
Mhm.
weird like mushroom on top of your
The
Sega
Tower of
Genesis.
Power.
Yeah. And obviously the 32X was never that popular. The Saturn came out like way earlier than Sega of America expected. So they just never did this, right? But modders have actually done it now. Is what you're able to do now is buy this custom shell. And I don't know if you can see that shell that they made. I mean, this thing looks super, super legit. Like it looks like
Yeah.
this thing came off of the Sega's production line. And you can put together a 32X and a Genesis inside this shell, which is not that much bigger than like a Model 2 Genesis. In fact, I think you could do this in a Model 2 Genesis. Like you don't
Mm.
have to buy the shell even. And then you have this like Sega Neptune. I think this is cool.
Sounds like something Wilson would be getting into.
Yeah, it does sound like something Wilson should be doing.
There's quite a bit of soldering and stuff, it looks like.
Is there a lot of soldering?
I was just watching the video a little bit. I mean, soldering's not the, most impossible thing if it's just like taking stuff off and putting it on, but
Right.
it
Once
can
they
it can
start
go
doing
wrong
like
pretty quick.
once they start doing like the processor pins though, I'm like, this might be where I tap out right here.
Yeah, yeah. It looks I mean, it does look like they're creating whatever and putting in ribbons and
Yeah.
this would definitely be over
Wilson
my
has a shell ordered.
aptitude. This is much beyond my aptitude for sure.
But it's so cool though. Like
It
it's
is.
so cool. And like 32X hardware actually is like kind of not like the easiest to get working at this point. I think a lot of it has to be recapped. And like I think the connection that because you put it into the cartridge slot of the Genesis, and then you put another cartridge into the cartridge slot of the 32X. So you're like
Mhm.
stacking cartridge slots.
Mhm.
Is like, that's a wonky connection to get all this stuff hardwired. I'm sure it helps the reliability. Cool though.
Yeah.
Jay,
That's it for news, I think.
Marble Madness though.
Marble Madness had much more kind of allure to it than I had originally anticipated.
Yeah, you like
It's
this
like, oh
one?
yeah, well, I mean, I played it as a kid, but
Yeah.
I'm saying like the story behind it, how it was designed, all that stuff was really interesting to learn.
Oh, really?
It had more of a backstory than I was expecting. So you want to talk about what kind of game it is and all that?
Sure. So I would say it's a puzzle game where you
Yeah.
control
Yeah.
a marble in kind of like a physics-based maze. And your marble has like momentum to it, and you kind of try and maneuver your marble through like a maze of hazards and like thin thin platforms. If you fall off, you just kind of like respawn on the platforms. There's different hazards like vacuum cleaners or these like, I don't know, slinkies that can eat your ball or other like bad balls that try and knock you off of the platform. And you're just trying to navigate your ball from like the top of the maze to the bottom of the maze to the exit in a series of increasingly difficult boards.
It's timed as well.
It is timed.
So it's like a race, and if you get to the end with a decent amount of time left, you get like bonus time on the next level, but like you got to be efficient.
Yeah, you gotta be fast.
It is kind if you're inevitably going to fall off. It's going to happen. So it's pretty nice with its placement, and it only takes a few seconds off the clock. It like puts you in it doesn't like throw you way back far. It just kind of tosses you, where you were essentially, but on the track. I think I got to the 4th level, the one where it's backwards, and I only had like 25. I tried it like 4 or 5 times, and I had like 20 seconds left. I'm like, I'm not getting through this. It's not going to happen.
Jay, I'm so bad at this game. I don't know that I've ever been as bad at anything.
Really?
Dude, I had real trouble with this game. Like, have you ever just been like, oh, you look at something and you're like, oh, I could do that. That's like no problem. Like, and then you start doing it and you're just like so inept as to like wonder, like, am I like stupid that I can't get this? Because it's a seemingly silly, easy thing to do. I called one of my kids in the room. I'm like, try this. Like, is my controller not working? Like, I
Is
don't
there input
understand.
lag? How much input lag did you have on what you were
I'm
doing?
using an NES with an NES controller.
Like an original wired controller? You probably
Yeah,
had less input lag than I did. I was using an analog.
dude, I felt completely inept. I can't
Wow.
believe how bad I am at this game. He grabbed the controller, immediately passed the second level, took 2 tries to pass the third level, and was well into the 4th level. I could not. I was Jay. This game makes me feel like a stupid idiot. I'm awful at it.
I don't know. I played it as a kid. I think I'm better now than
Yeah,
when I was a kid. As a kid, I don't remember getting past like maybe the second level.
yeah,
Um,
it's
but
hard.
you just it is difficult. The secret to this game is speed, and you have to be thinking ahead and reacting ahead, because the
Pointing out my
reaction of
weaknesses.
the reaction of the ball, it takes some time to like slow down the momentum of what you're doing to like go, because sometimes you'll like be bowling down a hill, and then you have to like immediately stop and go down like a tricky S curve of thin like two lane platform or something like that. So you have to like have some forethought or some experience to know to like slow down in a certain spot before you start going, otherwise you're screwed. Um and there's a lot of obstacles, yeah, and there's some certain things, certain points when you get to like you have to have momentum to go up. You got to
Yeah,
go back up through hills and stuff like that too, which can be difficult. So, um, I have children yelling. I'm sorry.
it's okay.
Uh, there was a couple of developer interviews that I put on here, and first of all, the original designer developer of this game was like 17 or 18 when he created this.
This is Mike Cerny.
In 1984, it was developed by Mike Cerny for
Mark Cerny.
Atari. Yeah.
Mark
I was
Cerny
gonna
currently works for the PlayStation. He developed what was that game that with the Sparkster? No, that's not right. Hold on, let me get Mark Cerny.
I'm trying to it was inspired by an artist named MC Escher. And just like, you think about the technology back then and the design of this, it's very geometrical, right? Like and it's like an isometric view that you're looking down at. The design of this stuff is really impressive. MC Escher had a lot of those designs where like stairs are going up but also going down, and like geometric stuff
Kind of like
turning into different
impossible
shapes and animals and all sorts of stuff.
illusional.
Yeah, so there's a lot of like optical illusion type stuff that kind of went into the idea of designing this. Also, Mark Cerny started college courses when he was 13.
He's currently the lead architect of the PlayStation. He developed Knack 2. He
He
worked
did
on
like
Ratchet and
Crash
Clank.
Bandicoot stuff,
Yeah, God of War 3, Killzone 3.
Spyro. Yeah.
Like he is the guy you see announcing PlayStations. They announced the PlayStation 4, he was the guy. He said, "I built this. I'm going to tell you all about
Okay.
it."
Okay, got it. No, he seems like a pretty down to earth guy, but like incredibly smart.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't know he developed this game. That's kind of fun.
So yeah, and this game had 3 people working on it. Him, a person that was kind of like doing the actual coding work in C, by the way, which was the first game for Atari to ever be developed in C.
This was
It was also
Atari System 1, which was an arcade board.
yes,
Okay.
in 84. So I think he said he started this in like 82 or something like that, and then he tabled it and then he came back to it. It was also one of the first games to use true stereo sound.
No kidding.
So I thought that was pretty cool. And the third person that was working on this, I'm pretty sure was the person doing the music. And if you notice when you're going through this game, the music like operates in tandem with what you're doing in game. It isn't just playing.
Oh, I
So
didn't realize that.
what you're doing in game. I don't know if it's the same with the NES version, but at least that's what they talked about.
Well, all I did
Like
was die, so real hard to tell.
the music is very impacted by what's happening on the screen, and I wonder what if that has anything to do with the fact that the like Genesis version of this is like
Dude,
really
that Genesis version is
awful
awful.
sound.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if like the conversion of the stereo sound to the Genesis or something
I
had
wonder if the
issues.
original version of this is on the Mister.
Because the NES was published by Milton Bradley, and it was ported by Tengen, which I thought was interesting for the NES. There's so many versions of this game and so many different publishers and port companies and all that stuff that worked on this. There was a sequel to be developed, which wasn't created by Mark Cerny, and it was supposed to be released in '91, but it got canceled when they were testing it. It did not get good reviews because it basically took this game that was very ambiguous, as Mark said, is like it needs to be ambiguous, like it's just shapes and tracks and nothing has personality. It's all meant to be generic so that everybody can have their own experience with it. But the sequel to it, Marble Madness 2, it had like a character as like the main, and like a lot of the enemies were like villain characters, and it just like
Oh,
created
really?
this very kid-like environment. That one of the main reasons why Marble Madness was such a success is because of the difficulty of it, and like a lot of adults were playing it in the arcade and stuff like that. So the testing didn't test very well for the sequel. And Cerny had moved on at that point to work on like PlayStation stuff, I think. So he's like, yeah, I wasn't involved in that anyways. So it was also the very first arcade game to use the FM sound chip produced by Yamaha. And yeah, it created music in real time. So it was in synchronization with the game's on-screen action, is what it said. Um, Also, and I don't know if this is the same for the NES version, it's only 30 hertz. Um, because it was programmed in C, it was less efficient, so they couldn't even get it to 60 hertz
Oh, really?
refresh rate, so it was in 30 hertz. I don't know, you don't really notice it. I knew that before I played it. So, um you still with me, Briar?
Yeah, my camera just died. I don't really know why.
I was like it's like, hopefully the stream's still going. I think we're good. The latest versions of this game, it has not been remade or like re-released very much in the last 10 years. In 2012, they had the Midway Arcade Origins, which was on PS3, Xbox 360, Xbox One. This is on that game, and it's also in the Lego Dimensions game, which would be the most recent release of this. So it's owned by whoever owns Lego Dimensions, and a bunch of other games are also owned by that company, but they haven't like done anything with it, which
Hmm.
is kind of frustrating. But there are some similar games that have kind of a Marble-esque experience. So, like you said, you didn't play it a whole lot, but what was your experience with it?
Well, when I was a kid, I played it. My buddy Jesse had it, and I remember playing 2-player, which was, I believe, you could
It's
knock
like
each
head to
other.
head.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could knock each other off. Which I remember like laughing a lot and having fun, but it was his game, so of course he's gonna be better, right?
Yeah.
Like no doubt about it.
Playing defense.
But as an adult, like I don't know, I think I messed around with this like a couple of months ago. Like I bought the cartridge at like a local game store. It's a cheap cartridge. It's like a few
Yeah.
dollars. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this game. And then I went to play it for real for the show, and I'm like I'd get to like a ramp, right? And you gotta like you gotta kind of go sideways along a ramp that slopes like toward you, but you gotta go kind of like sideways to the right side of the screen. And Jay, what I would do over and over again is fall off by doing exactly the same thing. Like I just like try and roll off to the side, and then the ball would roll down the ramp and fall off, and then put me back to where I started. So I'd roll to the side, the ball would fall off the ramp, go put me back where I started, and I do that like 4 or 5 times in a row. I'm like, I don't understand, why isn't this working?
It's what you see is what you get. Did you try the 45-degree angle controller?
I did. That broke my head. I went back to the 90-degree because you can.
You have to. Well, you had to hold. If you look at the instruction manual, you're supposed to hold the controller at a 45-degree angle if you're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Because then the like halfway points become the flat lines, and the straight stuff becomes diagonal. It's weird. I was like, nope, not doing that. So I was just doing this, but it started to hurt my fingers because it's literally just the control pad, and you're pressing the control pad with pressure the entire time you're playing. Like there's no breaks. So yeah, my thumb started hurting a bit. I imagine like playing with a joystick or a rollerball would be much more convenient. And I bet you like you could probably play with like the NES Advantage with this
I
and
tried
probably
playing
be
with the Advantage, the arcade stick, right?
yeah. Yeah.
It did not help.
Well, all right. If you're bad, you're bad, I guess.
I
don't
am
know.
very bad. I can't believe how bad I was. It was upsetting. I wanted to blame the game. I wanted to blame Mark Cerny.
But your kiddo came in and like was
Dude,
destroying
he
it. So
wiped the floor with me and he looked at me like, you old dumb fuck, get out of here.
That's hilarious.
Stop bothering me with these ancient relics.
No, I ran out of time for that 4th or 5th level or whatever because it like flips it upside down where you have to go up.
Yeah. I
And
don't think I got
I
that
only had like 20 seconds. So I was like, eh. I got much more efficient at the first 3 or 4 levels. Like I finished the 2nd level with like 50 seconds left or something like that. So
it is on the Mister, the original arcade, but for some reason I can't get it to work, so I'll have to look into that.
Interesting.
Which is kind of neat that the original arcade is on the Mister. This game though, very bare bones. Like there's not a whole lot of options. It doesn't even have like an attract mode that I can like show you guys like what the gameplay looks like. Like it's really just like here's the game, go ahead and play it. But this is not like we said, originally developed by the original developers, the NES version.
It was very popular in the arcades for a few months.
And it had a spinner or a ball, right?
Yeah, it had a trackball.
A trackball.
And it was very, very like it was on a lot of people's like top arcade games for a few months. But the reason that it kind of had a steep drop off is because there's only 6 levels. So like people liked the difficulty of it, and that was kind of the allure of it. But like once they beat it, they were done. There was no real reason to keep going back. So that was that Mark said one of his biggest regrets is that they just didn't have the time to create more like they wanted to. But because they were working on this for like 9 to 10 months and they got 6 levels. Like each level is it was a very intricate, complicated mathematical dissection and stuff where they had to figure out exactly how to design it, how to use the shapes, like all that stuff. So yeah, I mean from a revolutionary standpoint, like it's a super unique experience in game that like you don't get and you've never gotten before that, that kind of game. There are games that have used it as inspiration and had similar stuff. There was a game that I played for PSP called Archer McLean's Mercury. I don't know if you ever played that.
No, I've never heard of that.
You should try to find it because it's like this, but backwards, meaning you're moving the map around and there's like a blob of mercury that you have. And if it falls off the edge, it's just like a tiny bit of the mercury will fall off. And as long as you get at least, usually it's percentage based, you got to get at least like 5 or 10% based on the level to the finish line, you beat the level. So the whole map is like moving around you. So you're moving the map and the mercury is just kind of staying there. And like, it's this gelatinous liquid thing that it had a similar experience to this, but it was much more fleshed out. That was a game that I really enjoyed that you should definitely check out. Especially if you like Marble Madness, definitely check out Archer McLean's Mercury for the PSP. I don't know if there's any other versions. But,
I would think that Monkey Ball too, like similar.
Yeah,
vibe,
Monkey Ball has some similar stuff to it for sure.
Whereas Monkey Ball though, you're really controlling like the ground, like you're kind of playing like you're tilting.
Yeah, you're behind the ball.
Yeah.
So,
but a similar vibe. I think this game is cool. I just wish I could play it. It's really kind of sad. Unbelievably bad at it.
That's weird.
Also, the way the game is kind of like on a grid, sometimes I had trouble I'd like roll and thinking I'm like rolling like up a hill and then just like fall into a pit that I didn't like, my eyes just couldn't see it.
Yeah, there's some weird like dimensionality where you think something's below you, but it's actually there's a space between the two platforms. You don't figure that out until you fall off. You're like, oh, I can't go that way. Got it. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers Marble Madness.
I mean, for the price of a cartridge, if you have an NES, I definitely recommend picking it up.
I mean, a
although
complete copy is
that you're a complete moron.
I think a complete copy is $30 or $40. It's not.
Oh, really? And the art, you have that copy right behind you. The art is kind of fun on it.
It is, yes. But apparently, too, there was some. Apparently, they were like having people look at the game and review it, and the people were like, "Why don't the things have like faces? You should put faces on them." So if
on the balls,
yeah, if you like look close enough, apparently certain things they abstractly were able to like make certain things look like faces. I don't know. It was in one of the interviews. I didn't really catch that, but yeah, I did not get to this. I don't think I got to any of the 3 levels that are on here. I don't know if those are actually on the NES version.
They don't even look familiar to me. They don't. No, I saw 2 levels. I mean, I saw 3 levels when other people played it.
I could go and like watch a video because I got to the level that went backwards.
Yeah. What's up for the next episode?
So I got 3 choices.
Okay.
I'm gonna be ambiguous about it. We got a. I don't even know if I want to describe it. We have a. I'm gonna be generic. We have a fighting game. We have a platforming adventure game, and we have a top-down shoot 'em up style game.
I want to go shooter. Give me the shooter.
You want the shooter?
Yeah.
Pocky and Rocky.
Ooh, fun. Okay.
SNES.
All right. I'm in.
Do you want to know what the other choices were?
Yes.
Okay. So the fighting game was Primal Rage.
Oh, is it too late to change my mind?
And the platformer game was Earthworm Jim.
Did we already do Earthworm Jim?
Did we?
I think we did.
We did. You're right.
Oh man, I want to do Primal Rage. I want to do both of those games.
You want to do both of them? Well, Primal Rage is not a good game, but it's one of those games.
How dare you?
It's like an infant. Like my copy looks like it was beat up by an ape too. Like it's really bad. Like, but it was one of those games that as a kid you're like, you're fighting as beasts. You know, it's like the coolest thing.
Fighting dinosaurs.
Pocky and Rocky is actually a good game.
It is a very good game.
Objectively a good game.
There's the new sequel, Reshrined.
Yeah, I have that as well.
The Switch and PS4 or just Switch?
Switch. No, I think it's on PS4 as well.
Made by Natsumi?
Yeah. I just realized I have every version of this game. I have Pocky and Rocky 1, Pocky and Rocky 2, Pocky Rocky and Becky for the GBA, and Reshrined for the Switch. I own all of them. None of them are complete. Because they're expensive, but
yeah, that's a very expensive game.
Yeah.
But you know, you can. Oh god damn, I hate this game.
Oh, he's currently playing. I see. He's he's like, maybe the Mister will be better.
Yeah.
Nope. That's great. You have any pickups?
No, not this week.
All right, I have a few.
I'm actually selling some stuff on eBay.
You are?
Excited. Yeah, like I got a bunch of. I think I've told you on this podcast how like last year I got real sick and I ordered a bunch of like a lot of games from like Limited Run and all that.
Oh right, yeah, I don't want those.
Yeah, I ordered 4 copies of Cannon Dancer. I don't know why. I put 2 of them up on eBay. What else?
Are you gonna get your money back at least?
I don't know. I just gotta get them out of here. Yeah. I got a bunch of stuff that I'm putting up on eBay. Mostly like stuff I got a joystick, like an arcade stick that I'm putting up there. I got a bunch of stuff.
I really should start selling my stuff too, to be honest. Some things. So I got 5 things, nothing crazy. I've been looking for this from our local retro store for a long time. This is the only North American release of Master of Darkness.
Is it?
This is
Is it
Master of
really?
Darkness. So it's called Vampire Master of Darkness. We played the
Yeah,
because we covered it here.
Yeah, the Master System version.
Yeah, so it was like
Yeah.
a European Master System version. This is the only US release of this game. So I'd been looking for
I
it.
didn't
Obviously,
realize
it's
they
not
changed the
complete.
name for the Game Boy Gear.
Well, it
We
says
probably talked
Vampire
about it.
Master. It says Master of
Yeah.
Darkness underneath it.
Right, but it wasn't called Vampire, the version we
Right.
played. Yeah. We probably talked
Right.
about that when we talked about the game, but I obviously don't remember.
Yeah. So this game, Tennis for the Game Boy, I played this a lot as a kid, and I found a like super minty copy on eBay. It's like a $30 game. But I don't know, it just I like really nice Game Boy cheap games sometimes that remind me of my childhood. It was
Yeah.
just like I don't know if this is the first tennis game. They had tennis for NES too, which I think is kind of similar.
Yeah,
But
with Mario as the line judge, as the
yeah,
umpire.
he's also the line judge here. This is from '89, so it's probably came after. Probably kind of a port.
Yeah, I think Mario or Tennis for NES was a black box game, right?
Yes.
Was it just called Tennis, or was it called
Just called
Open
tennis.
Tennis? It was just called Tennis.
Yeah. So this game, which kind of smells like smoke, Riddick Bow Boxing. I got it in the mail today, so I was like, I think it.
Riddick Bros bringing that smoke.
So the reason I got this, like, I don't have any particular love for this game.
Yeah.
However, I do have particular love for the game that is exact same in like Spanish, and it's called Chavez. So Chavez has two games. The first game I bought from a Blockbuster, complete in box for like $10 when I was a kid, or $5, something like that. And it's the same game as this. This is like the English version of it, and
They
it
just
uses
changed
Riddick
the cover guy depending on the region they're selling it.
and probably like the color of them, yeah, because it's like Spanish versus not. But like, it's yeah. So I have Chavez. I want to get it complete. It's really hard to find complete. It's not the most expensive thing. It's just hard to find.
Yeah.
This is a cheap game, but it's hard to find in good shape. So one popped up, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna grab that. So
What's Chavez's name? Is it Julio Cesar Chavez?
Caesar Chavez, I think, or maybe I'm thinking that's the Portland.
Not big boxing fans here. Can you show the back of the box? I'm just curious what it looks like.
Julio Cesar Chavez, yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah.
It's one of those games. Yeah, no, there's like training, so you get stronger through the training, and there's different like mini games that you do, and then you go into the fighting, and like obviously if you're stronger, you're going to do a lot better and all that stuff. I don't know. I loved the progression of it as a kid.
Yeah.
And even though I literally couldn't read it because it was all in Spanish, the Chavez game, but I still loved it, and I still played it because it was very straightforward. And
boxing is the universal language.
Yeah. I want to play
the face goes beyond cultures.
Yeah. I've never played the English version of the game, so I'm kind of excited to play it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fun.
Another game that I got at the local retro store because I took in my second copies of Leaf Green and Fire Red complete in box, the player's choice versions. I was like, I don't need them, but I can get quite a bit of credit for them. So I got Hydro Thunder complete in box for the N64. And it's in pretty good shape. This is not something you see super often complete in box. It's not.
Did they make that game for the Dreamcast as well? I think I might have had that for the Dreamcast when I had a Dreamcast originally.
Yep. It's a good game, and it's an arcade game as well.
I remember it being fun. Yeah. They made a couple of those Thunder games, right?
Probably. I did not play this very much at all as a kid. I played Wave Race a lot. Yeah. I played Wave Race a lot.
Yeah, Wave Race was awesome. But this was different. This was more like
almost F-Zero on the water.
Yeah, sort of like that. Faster, a little more hardcore. Nothing against Wave Race. Wave Race is an amazing game.
Yeah.
If you have an N64, it's like an essential part of the collection, right?
I can't remember if Wave Race was a launch game or not, but I remember playing it early in my
If
N64.
it wasn't, it was shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
It was an early game for sure.
I remember it being one of like 3 games that I could rent at Blockbuster when
I
got
the Cruis'n USA, Mario, and Wave Race.
Yeah, pretty much. And the last thing I got was an inbox red Game Boy Pocket.
Oh, neat.
The box is kind of beat up, but the console in here, the handheld, is like pristine. So, and it's still got in here. It's got the like registration thing that matches the serial number too, which is nice.
Interesting.
So I got
booted it up. Does it work?
I mean, they test stuff there, so I trust them.
Yeah. How's the screen on the Pocket? Is it a lot better than the DMG?
No, it's very
No.
similar. I mean, it's basically the same. The whole thing for the Pocket was that it used like AAA's less batteries, and I think it lasted a little longer.
Yeah, it's
Um,
smaller too, right? It's like a
Smaller,
little.
yeah, it actually fit in your pocket as opposed to the big one, which did not.
Your jeans weren't big enough if you couldn't fit a DMG.
Listen, I wasn't allowed to
Yeah,
get
it's
Jenkos, all
Jenkos,
right?
bro.
I wasn't allowed to get Jenkos, they were too expensive. That's what I got. Cool stuff.
Cool, man. That's quite a collection. I'm looking forward to playing Pocky Rocky. I feel like I missed out on my Primal Rage play, but we'll get there.
Keep it in the back pocket. Yeah.
What's that?
Keep it in the back pocket. I thought it'd be kind of a fun game too eventually.
Yeah.
It's kind of a
I am looking
dumb
forward to
fun.
Pocky Rocky. This is one of those games that I've not played and I want to. I have played Enshrined, which is the new one, and I really like it.
Well, it also doesn't Shrined have 1 and 2 in it?
I think you gotta beat the game for. Okay, I don't actually know. I think I might have heard that you gotta beat the game, but I haven't actually played the game in probably over a year. Like I played it right when it came out, and I haven't touched it since.
We'll learn.
So I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's not the easiest game, but it's kind of like Zombies Ate Your Neighbors, where it's like that top down. You're a person, and it's like a shmup, like a shoot 'em up, but you're like flinging cards or something. I don't know exactly what you're flinging.
Yeah,
but
it's like
rapid
wicked,
fire.
like Japanese, like folklore kind of.
Yeah,
but it's really bright and colorful and cool looking.
I kind of want to bust out my Becky copy for the GBA too. I haven't tested that.
You can play this game 2-player too.
Yeah, co-op,
which I think makes it somewhat easier.
Probably.
Unfortunately, nobody will play with my Marble Madness ass.
My Marble Madness ass. You got to get better with your balls, Briar.
Dude, I can't. I'm so bad. I can't believe how bad I am at that game. I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna practice Marble Madness. I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna redeem myself in the eyes of Mark Cerny.
He's gonna buy like a proper trackball,
right?
Or something.
No, I just want to get good at the NES version. I bet the game is way more fun with a trackball, though. If you think about
it, probably. Yep.
And welcome to the next rabbit hole. I would like to get a trackball for my Mister, to be honest with you. Like that'd be a nice addition because there's a bunch of games you could play, like Centipede, and I do love some Centipede.
Sweet.
Should we wrap this one up?
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Thank you all for joining us. Please don't think less of me because of my failures.
His ball skills are subpar. Ball skills are subpar.
Yeah. Thank you all for joining us. We'll be back in 2 weeks. That'll be like mid-December.
Yeah, the 12th.
And then I don't know. We'll have to look at a calendar. I'm not sure like where we're gonna land near Christmas because I know Christmas is on Monday this year, right?
It'd be the day after Christmas.
Okay, so we should be fine.
We'll talk about
play with all our new Christmas toys on the stream.
And then, well, in the week we wouldn't want to push it 1 week because the week after that is the day after New Year's.
Oh yeah, I'll be in no shape.
It'd be January 2nd. Yeah.
All right. Thank you all, guys. Have a wonderful evening. Be safe out there. Have a wonderful holiday as well. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye. Happy Hanukkah.